Hello. Hi, this is a new greenhouse, a new project, as you can see, and it has just been planted few days ago. The crop is still very young, and I wanted to take you through to give you some few tips, some do's and some don'ts when handling this young crop. Like I promised you, this year I'll be taking you through a game of numbers. I want to deal with numbers because numbers don't lie. When it comes to handling young capsicum crops, like other plants, you need to be very cautious. One thing you're supposed to do in a greenhouse, make sure it's weed free. Make sure all these small weeds are removed, because these are the ones that comes with pests and diseases. And this young crop is very susceptible. It can easily be affected by pests. You can do the weeding by just removing them or plucking them, the way I'm doing it, weeding. It's as simple as that. Make sure one of the biggest do's, make sure the field is ever clean. It's ever clean. Don't allow anything to germinate or any weed to come and affect these young seedlings. From controlling the weeds, you need to protect this young crop from cutting insect. And at this stage, we usually do a product that will prevent the young seedling from cutting insect. A product like Confidor, a product like Actara from Syngenta is one of the best products that I usually use. In fact, I like Actara because other than being a pest control, is an antivirus. Make sure this young seedling is protected, and it's protected well. Before transplanting let me take you back on how everything started before it was transplanted. We started by doing soil analysis, and the soil analysis enabled us to identify the pests and the diseases that were common in the soil. And the pests that we were looking for was nematode. The diseases were bacterial wilt and fusarium wilt. None of the problem was present, so the soil is free from all those diseases, and that one now give us a go ahead to do the planting without fear of any disease. From pests and diseases, we also did a nutrition analysis, and a nutrition analysis now give us a good starting point, or a good guidance on the nutrient that we needed. And we did a good base dressing subject to soil analysis or nutrition analysis, and we did a basal dress of gypsum. We also did a basal dressing of good manualing as it was recommended. And there are other things that were recommended that will still be done in the near future, but in the starting, that was what was recommended. So I usually advise farmers, don't ignore the soil analysis, because it will help you to budget. It will guide you on what to do and at what time. So this plant, as you can see, we need now to take care of it, because we want to maintain the numbers in the whole of this greenhouse. As you can see, the whole of this greenhouse, we have 2,500 seedlings, and we want to maintain all of them. We want to keep all of them. We want to make sure each and every plant here gives us fruits. So the starting point is what matters. How do we start and how have we started? What do you do as a farmer? I've already given you the tips on what to do, the analysis, the drenching against the pest. Now I'll take you to the next tip, which is now controlling of diseases. During control of diseases, there is one common disease in young capsicum or in young seedlings, and it's known as dumping off. Dumping off is a fungal disease, and it cuts or it eats the bottom part of the seedling, like at this point. This is why this is where the dumping off is. So in order to avoid the dumping off, you need to do a product rich in mancozeb and metalaxyl. Like in my case, I'm using Ridomil in order to control that, to make sure I control the dumping off. Dumping off is brought in by humid condition, because as you can see, the humidity levels in these soils, the humidity levels is very high, and at night it gets cold here, so we may expect, or we are anticipating for such problem. So don't wait until you see that challenge. You need now to make sure you work or you are proactive when it comes to controlling the diseases, because once it attacks you, that young seedlings cannot heal and cannot recover. So make sure you prevent the seedlings and let them remain as healthy as possible, because the healthiest seedling will develop to a healthy plant, and that means the production rises. The more number you maintain in a greenhouse, or the more number you maintain in the field, the better. So make sure with those few tips on controlling pests and diseases, you are able to do that. Last but not least, I'll take you through water or irrigation schedule on what you're supposed to do when it comes to watering these young seedlings, because they need water just like any other seedlings. One, make sure they remain moist, they are not overwatered, and you are not underwatering them. So what do? In my advice when it comes to watering, what I do and what I advise farmers, I usually advise farmers to water in regime or in sequence, because there is no need of coming and watering maybe in the morning, giving it a lot of water, and then the whole day the plant remains dies because of lack of water. These ones are like human beings. The way you don't wake up and take 3 liters of water and assume that you'll stay the whole day with that water, this is the same thing happens to the plant. Just give it in sequence. You can give it in 4 sequences per day or in 3 sequences per day. When you wake up at 8, just open the water. If you don't have something to measure the amount of water, you can measure the water using maybe you have a gauge or a water meter, or you can measure the amount of water you're using time. In most cases, because we don't have meters or gauges or measuring these waters, we usually irrigate by judging time. So by judging time is the best, and just open for 15 to 20 minutes and you're going to go, and it will be a good watering period. So overwatering will cause fungal infections, underwatering will kill the crop. So make sure the crop is moist, and it's not very wet and it's not very dry. And also monitor the crop. The crop is just like a small baby. Always monitor it, know when it's in need of water and when it's not in need of water. If the leaves are drooping like this one here, if the leaves are drooping, that's a sign of water, it's in need of water. But sometimes it's because of the environmental stress. So watering is what can make this crop survive, or these young seedlings survive and be able to adopt the environment and grow to a bigger plant. Until next time, stay tuned to this channel, subscribe, leave a comment, share, so that we can keep learning together. Bye.